A lot of people say I'm just fascinated by cults, man. I'm just fascinated about why people join cults. I'm gonna repeat that. I'm fascinated why people join cults. People don't join cults. They are scammed or born into it. We gotta make that distinction because it changes the conversation. What do I mean by that? As a cult survivor who was born into a cult, here are 3 things I wish people knew. Number 1, I didn't sign up for this shit. If you know me and you know this channel, you know I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And whenever I tell people this, somehow it comes up in the conversation about what I do. They're like, oh, you were raised in a cult? Oh. And I'm like, yeah, I was raised in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Maybe 9 times out of 10 I get a, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I thought you meant a real cult. Yeah, in case you missed it, Jehovah's Witnesses let their kids die if the kid needs a blood transfusion. Jehovah's Witnesses cut people off from their families. I have not heard my parents' voice in 8 years. Jehovah's Witnesses do not report child sexual abuse to law enforcement. Okay? They may look stupid knocking on your door in a suit, but they ruin people's lives. I was born into this. I did not join the Jehovah's Witnesses as an adult, as a moral free agent. And likewise, there are other people out there who were born into cults, religious or political, okay? Where their parents have something to prove and the child gets sucked into it. All right, the kid has to go to the church, do all the rituals, the self-flagellation, inherits their parents' fear and guilt, all right? The kid has to carry the megaphone and the poster and fight. All right, when you see a child, I don't care how mature that child is. I don't care how self-aware they seem. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know, you are just so smart for your age. She's very mature, she's very mature for her age. And that may be true, but I don't care how smart or articulate a child presents themselves or appears to be. They're still a child. They may be really good at mimicking being an adult, but they are not an adult. They are not an adult, and they do not have the ability to consent to a religious or political ideology. Okay, so when we talk about cults, mom and dad are in search for meaning. Mom and dad are all riled up on the steps of Washington. And if you have a cause that you're passionate about, I'm not saying don't be passionate about that thing. I'm not saying don't follow your conscience and do what you think is right. But having grown up in a cult as a minor, I didn't sign up for this shit. This is about parents who make their kids pawns in a game the kid never asked to play. Number 2, fascination or fetish. As a society, we have a fascination with cults because they're weird. The bizarre rules and rituals, the secrecy, the weird outfits. So if you didn't grow up in it or you were never part of a cult, it's like, whoa, I get it. It's this portal into a world that you're completely unfamiliar with. It's a completely foreign concept. It's completely understandable why people would want to know more, and it's necessary that we talk about it. But also, it's one thing to look at someone like Tom Cruise, for instance, just spiral into this incoherent, delusional psychobabble and watch these celebrities, get sucked into these self-help schemes or whatever. They're these huge public figures who are so detached from us. So it's easier to think of cults as something, rich, dumb people do, which happens to be inaccurate. It also makes it easy to forget the thousands of nameless, faceless victims that will never receive publicity. So I feel like there's a line between curiosity and almost like getting off on someone else's trauma. Like, oh, okay, you were just a Jehovah's Witness, all right. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Were you like hoping I was branded and trafficked? It's easy to be fascinated by the weirdness, but it's also really easy to lose perspective that these are real, everyday people who are being coerced into or born into these situations. I think it just says something about how easy it is to become desensitized and end up viewing other people's suffering as almost a distorted form of entertainment. I don't know. I think it's one of those things you just kind of ask yourself, where's the line? Number 3, it could happen to you. Cults can be religious, political, online, on TikTok, sweetie. The local temple. Could be in somebody's backyard right now. Could be in your hood. I guarantee you there's a cult right now in your city, in your town. Because again, we have this tendency to sort of zone in on these high profile groups, like Scientology. There's so many documentaries and headlines about them. Or, the Albany-based self-help group Nexium, where women were branded and coerced into having sex with the group's leader, Keith Raniere. But cults can crop up anywhere. A cult is simply a group of people who share a certain set of beliefs and values, but that finds ways to demonize people who are not in the group. And tying back to point number 1, no one signs up for a cult. Like I talked about, you could be born into it and then wake up later and be like, oh my God. Or they are recruited under very sparkly language that in turn makes the buy-in sound like a no-brainer. Who doesn't value things like love, equality, justice, liberty? No shit, these are objectively great things. But what happens if I express a concern or dissident opinion? Am I now going to risk being called evil? Are you going to take my family away? Are you going to hold some sort of collateral over my head? Better yet, why would my question or concern evoke such a response from you? This is not just about religious cults and kookiness. This is everywhere today. This is in the cultural conversation. You'll hear things like hate is not welcome here. So it's like this self-righteousness. All right, let's think about this. Let's use our brain. There is a difference between legitimately hating someone because you are ignorant and malicious and wish the other person harm, and having a legitimate question or concern. And if I am not allowed to ask those questions or pose my concerns, what are you trying to protect so fiercely that hate is the only word in your vocabulary that you can conjure up to label what is actually critical thinking? I want you to look around at your friend group right now. Think about your coworkers, people that you come across. If you are finding that it is impossible to engage where both people can be heard, if it is impossible to have calm, mutually respectful conversations, you might be in a cult. And if you're listening to this and you don't like it and you disagree with what I said, that's totally fine. You're free to disagree. And guess what? You still get to sit around the dinner table with mom and dad tonight. You're going to be okay. Bottom line, don't think you're immune to it. Any group, I don't care who it is, who claims to be saving something or someone, saving the world or some larger intangible concept, or who uses moral shortcuts or labels to divide the world into black and white terms, watch out for these red flags. Pay attention to these patterns in your friend group, work, I don't care where it is. Now, let me be absolutely clear. There's nothing wrong with finding community, right? And enjoying the company of like-minded individuals. And it's okay to enforce your personal boundaries. You don't have to accept everything and be okay with everything and everyone. You don't have to engage with every schmo on the internet. But generally speaking, life and people are never that cut and dry. Like, we gotta be able to see the gray and like use our brain. Or else I guarantee you other people will do it for us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I cannot believe Stop the Shunning has hit 10,000 subscribers. That is bananas. There are some updates coming to the channel that I'm really excited to share with you. Stay updated in my community page. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful and you'd like to learn more about the Jehovah's Witnesses, subscribe for more content. Have a great week, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.